Go.
Hi, my name is Katie LeDuc, and I'm here today to talk about a course that I took here at Plymouth. It's called New Hampshire and New England History. I took it with Dr. Blaine and Professor Switzer. The course was split up into kind of two sections. Dr. Blaine taught the majority of the course, but Professor Switzer, I think he taught, it was like every other Thursday. He actually focused on maritime history, so his section of the class was a lot of about fishing and the different kinds of boats and stuff off the coast of New England, and Dr. Blaine did more of the history of the actual area. The course was mainly a history course, but there was a lot of writing involved as well. We had a couple big papers due throughout the entire course, and the tests were actually essay tests, so that actually really didn't bother me though. You were set up with a computer and you actually just typed your responses to each question. The history focused on the major events and important people that were involved in New Hampshire and New England history, as well as a lot of the cultural changes, moving through the different, like the revolution and industrial changes in the area as well. These are some of the topics that we went over throughout the entire semester. I mean, it started back from the early settlers, it went through all the different colonies, as well as the settlers' involvement and relationship with the different Indians. That was actually a large part of the course, was interaction with the Indians and some of the many wars that took place. Timber trade was also a big part of the course. I think the most interesting part of the course to me was towards the end, when it actually focused more on New Hampshire as opposed to New England as a whole. And this talked about the beginning of the tourism and the art and romanticism period, when a lot of the people started moving up here to the White Mountains. And then it also spoke about the development of the White Mountain National Forest, which was pretty interesting as well. And then I noted there at the bottom, Professor Switzer's portion of the class. How many people here are from New England, or even, that are at New Hampshire? Anyone here? A couple of you. So this class, I'm from New Hampshire, so it was very interesting to me to be able to learn more about the history of where we live, and even everyone here now going to Plymouth. I mean, it's very interesting to see where we live and how it came to be. Does anyone have any questions about the course?
How was it having like two different professors?
It was different. I mean, this is the first course that I've ever taken that it had two different professors, but a large part of it was Dr. Blaine, so that was pretty normal. I mean, that was pretty much every day was meeting with her. It did make it a little more difficult because the tests were separated. You did have sections of questions that were from Professor Switzer's sections. And a lot of times you did have homework assigned by him on days that he was not teaching. So it was a little difficult at times to keep the assignment straight when he wasn't in class, actually. But it was interesting getting the different point of view. They're both very established professors. Professor Switzer is actually he's a very highly reputable, I guess, maritime historian, actually throughout the country. So that was kind of a, nice privilege to be able to learn under him as well. So it actually worked out quite well.
He probably comes back in for just the every other week because he is semi-retired, but because
Yes,
he is so revered in his field,
Yeah.
it is kind of a privilege to.
Yeah.
Now, once again, composite of all grades and all different majors you felt were in this course?
Yep.
Your major is?
I'm a business major. I
Okay,
took
you're
this as an
business too.
elective, so.
All right.
But definitely, I mean, the New Hampshire and New England history just kind of caught my eye. I mean, I'm from here, and getting the opportunity to learn more. A lot of the stuff I wouldn't have known,
That's what I was
even
going to
just
say.
living
Did you feel
here.
it was really
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I learned so much, and it was just very interesting. I mean, driving around up north and seeing some of the things that we've talked about in the class, and really how they developed over time. There was a big project at the end that everyone got to choose a topic, and they were very broad, from wars to the revolution to industrialism to timber trade. I actually did mine on the Mount Washington Hotel up in Bretton Woods, so that was really, really fun to be able to kind of pick something that was interesting.
Did
And
you get special tours and in and out?
I didn't,
Oh.
but you know what, there was a lot of research that went into it, and you know, I learned so much about something that really is not far of a drive for a lot of us here, so.
It is an amazing little state, as you say, when it goes back to Indian wars and
Oh, yeah.
when it used to be part of Massachusetts.
Oh, absolutely. It went through all the different divisions of land and what took place for that to happen, you know, from Maine to New Hampshire to Massachusetts to Vermont. It's very interesting. I highly recommend it to anyone that might have some kind of history interest.
Thank you.